Hello everyone, my name is Brenda Bature and this is HERightsRadio, a radio, the first ever radio that is exclusive to women and girl rights and initiative, and it is also an initiative of the BVPRI, which is the Basilia Vulnerable Persons Rights Initiative. With me here is Mr. Richard Samuel Taiwo, and we will be talking about gender and climate change. Mr. Taiwo, over to you.
Hello everyone, thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor to be a part of this radio, HERightsRadio initiative by the Basilia Vulnerable Persons Initiative. Thank you for having me. I trust that we will have a wonderful time here tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so I will be asking you, Mr. Samuel.
Yeah.
That's if it's okay, I call you Mr. Samuel.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll be asking you a couple of questions in relation to climate change and how it affects women.
Okay.
So before I go fully into it, I want you to give us an understanding of what climate change is.
All right. Thank you. Thank you once again. Climate change, in a nutshell, in simple terms and in plain terms, so that every layman can understand what we're saying beyond karma. It's simply the earth getting hotter, getting warmer by the day, less stable. Simple in climatology, we define climate change as how do I say it now? That's going to be better. We define climate change as a long-term change in the Earth's temperature, weather, and seasons. That is why when it comes to some areas in the world right now, when it's time for harmattan, we get it extreme. Sometimes they are shorter. In some other places, when it's time for rainfall, for instance, in Port Harcourt right now, we are experiencing a kind of rainfall that we've not experienced in a very long time. That is an evidence of climate change. Rain falling, like I think in the month of September, we had 7 days of constant rainfall. That is climate change. There was a time when these things were not permissible, these things were not here. But all these things, we see extensive rainfall or shorter rainfall, we see droughts in some areas. All these are signs of climate change. But the basic thing here is that climate change is caused by human activities. Human beings are people causing these things. What does it mean? In simple terms, let me just give an analogy. Climate change can be referred to as a house that have a roof and have windows. When the sun shines in the day, the roof limits the amount of sunlight that enters the house. The windows allows air circulation. So when that house gets some amount of heat during the evening, when there's no more sunlight, the heat will have to go out as a result of circulation of wind. But when climate change comes into that picture, the heat that comes into that house stays in that house longer than expected because man uses fossil fuels, which causes a release of carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide, that's one of the major causes of climate change, carbon dioxide, and what again? So that heat stays in that house. So ordinarily, when the evening comes, you're supposed to have lesser heat because the air circulates better in the evenings than in the afternoon. But because of climate change, that house still maintains the same amount of temperature. I don't know if I've done justice to that, if it's understandable, but I think that's where we are.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam. That is a great one. I hope that is explicit enough for everyone to understand. And by all indications, all these things affect human life.
Yeah.
But now we are bringing it and narrowing it down to the girl child and the woman in the society, the women. How this climate change affects their lifestyle, their livelihood, and how they relate totally and in general.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sam, I'm going to be asking you my first question right now.
Shoot, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sam. So, climate change is often discussed in terms of science, policy, and technology. Why is it important to add a gender lens to this conversation?
We live in a world right now where everything is centered around gender. Gender inequality, gender equality, everything is centered around gender. That is why the woman tells the man that I am equal to you in your own gender. Alright, so there's this saying we say in Africa that women are always at the receiving end. Women are always at the receiving end. So climate change, as it were, affects women because how do I put it now? Climate change is not neutral. That is to say, it affects it doesn't affect anybody. It affects men. It affects everybody in that sense, but it affects women more. That was why I brought that African adage that says women are more at the receiving end.
Yes.
Women, girls especially, they are in vulnerable communities. For instance, there is forgotten that local government in the Rivers that experienced flood last year. I wouldn't want to make a mistake by mentioning it, but it happened in the Rivers State here, and women in communities face disproportionate impact because the women are the one with the children, and especially girl children. The girl child will have to go to the stream. You watch Nigerian movies. How many times do you see boys going to streams to fetch water?
Hardly.
It's usually the girls. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now it affects those girls. While their mates are in school, those girls are going to fetch water from streams.
Okay.
They go to fetch firewood that they will use to feed the boys.
Yes.
Do we get it?
Yes.
So I think I don't want to use the word is designed this way, but that's how we see it. Women are always at the receiving end. Thank you.
Okay. So what you're saying is climate change is not gender neutral.
It is that.
It affects one more than it affects the other.
Oh yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And now we move to our second question, and our audience, we hope you understand that.
Yeah.
And now we move to the second question. How do women and girls experience the impact of climate change differently from men? I think I, for one, would actually want to know that, since it's not gender neutral. So please, over to you.
Okay. Women are more dependent on natural resources for livelihood.
Okay.
Now, they shoulder more unpaid care work.
Okay.
Do you ever remember your dad paying your mom for the jobs that she does at home?
Ooh.
Oh yes, no. so they shoulder more unpaid care work, and often they have limited decision making power, which increases their vulnerability during crises like floods, droughts, and food insecurity.
Okay. So what you're saying is, because of the kind of works they do, because we know that there are certain communities in Nigeria where the women are not allowed to make decisions, the women are not allowed to do anything, they're just supposed to stay at home, take care of the family. So when things like this happen, like flood, it affects them more because they are not equipped for this kind of situation.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Our audience, I hope you guys are enjoying what we are doing here. And now I'll be asking the third question. So we are talking about social and economic inequalities. Does climate change amplify existing social, economic, and cultural inequalities between men and women?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
For example, when drought reduces agricultural yields, women farmers with less access of land and finances, they are hit. They are hit the hardest. You know why?
No.
While they are still expected to provide food and water for their families, these things are already here. We live in a world where we know communities where the men don't do anything.
Yes.
It is expected that the women should cater for the children and also still cater for those men. For instance, typically, let me use Jos. If you've been to Jos, Plateau State, you will realize that the women do most of the workings and the men. So when there is a flood in such places, what do you expect? When there's a drought in something, what do you expect? It is the women that will still go all out to cater for children, cater for family, cater for their farmlands, do all the necessary things just to ensure that everybody is okay. In places like River State, we have places, we have people too don't do anything. Men don't do anything. I mean, they just sit down, drink, do all they have to do. The women go all out, do farm work, hew wood, cut firewood from, all these things. It affects women more. That's why I started by saying women are always on the receiving side. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. You mentioned something about women and being farmers.
Yeah.
I didn't know women could be farmers.
Oh, welcome to our world.
I didn't know.
Women are farmers.
I think I grew up in a place where my grandmother used to say, the female child is supposed to just stay home, take care of the home, while the man goes to the farm to farm and then bring in the produce. Now, what she used to tell me then was, you stay at home, the man goes to the farm, you make sure you clean up, you make sure you're clean, make sure the children are safe, make sure the children are clean by the time he gets home. His food is ready, and when he comes home, you serve him, he eats. I didn't know women could be farmers too.
Your grandma was from the 1960s.
Yeah, I guess she is.
Alright, so I served in a community called Shongom Local Government in Kogi State. And I can tell you for free that most of the people who go to farm in Shongom Local Government are women. I mean women. I served in that community for a year, and the biggest farmer in that town was a woman.
Wow.
And guess what? She's not even an indigen of that place. She married a custom officer. She's from Delta State. She owns the biggest farm in Shongom Local Government. When those women go to farm, they go to farm with basically 3 things: their hoe, a cooler of food, and a gallon of water. These are things. These are the loads they carry to the farm.
Okay.
So we welcome to the world right now where women farm. In the 1960s, maybe women were not farming. 1940s, but in this present time, women are farmers.
Wow. So it's also safe to say women are taking over industrialization too?
Of course, the world is big enough for everybody. Nobody is limited. The only person that can limit you is you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we move to our last question,
Alright.
which we are going to be talking about burden of domestic work.
Okay.
All our topics and all our questions are all intertwined because they all are talking about the way these things affect women. Now, I'm going to be asking, do women bear a heavier domestic workload due to climate-related resource shortages?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I made an example using typical Nigerian things that happen like we are depicted in movies. And I asked, have you seen boys going to fetch water from stream? And your answer was black and blue. So women try long distances, they go fetch firewood, they go fetch drinking water, just so a home can be stable. So that impacts them. Typically, that's a woman who goes out to fetch water, or that daughter who goes out to fetch water, is expected to come back and join her mom in kitchen duties to ensure that food is ready for who? Women. Okay, man. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. And on that note, we've come to the end of our question sessions for today. So like we've heard, every woman should try her best to be fully equipped to be able to fight this climate change, seeing that it affects us the most. Do well to not just be at home doing nothing. Find something to do, find something to help yourself. And Mr. Sam, any last words for us?
Well, one of the things I would say is I think policies need to be put in place to actually encourage and strengthen women.
Okay.
Education is key to everything. These issues are gender sensitive, so they need to be treated with utmost alacrity. That is to say, when policies are being made, it should be considered gender equality should be considered in the sense that gender inclusivity, that's what I wanted to use, beg your pardon. Gender inclusivity should be considered because women are not donkeys. They are human beings, just like you and me. They have the same rights as every man. So when policies are being put in place, the women also should be considered. And then I will appeal to good-meaning citizens who have NGOs, who have initiatives that can strengthen women to go all out, keep pushing until this dream is achieved. That women can be carried along, women can be included in every policy. I mean every, not one and not some, in every policy, because both men both women. You're created by God and created equal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam.
You're welcome.
And our viewers, we have come to the end of today's session. See you in our next session. I remain Brenda Bature, your host, and our guest, Mr. Samuel Richard Taiwo. Bye.
Thank you.